let's talk about my face. Let's talk about my hair. Hi, I'm Nick Shell, and these are a pair of socks with my face on them. Yeah, that's right. My brother-in-law and my sister were able to make these happen. And it's funny because it was from an episode of the TV show I was on called This Time Next Year that premiered February of 2018, earlier this year, on the Lifetime Network. They got me all set up in IMDbPro. So it's funny because a lot of you have been watching my videos and didn't know anything about that. But in this same calendar year, I made my television debut on a show called This Time Next Year. And you, if you want to know more about it, you can actually just go to IMDbPro, Google This Time Next Year, Dudes from Different Latitudes. That was the episode that I was on. I got to meet Kat Deely, which if you're an American, like, what, who? She was the host of So You Think You Can Dance. So if you're, in England, you're like, you met her? Yeah, twice. She's awesome. She's really cool. She was the host of the show. But it is interesting. I'm making this video not only to show off how cool are these Christmas gifts, but also just to kind of catch you up if you weren't familiar with that whole part of my life. We focus so much on talking about hair that it's easy to forget that I have a whole life outside of making YouTube channels for fun here. But yes, I was on TV earlier this year, and what was funny is the point of the episode, it was like a reality TV show. I had to find my lookalike who was on a package of soup. If you Google this, Campbell's Go Chicken and Quinoa Southwest Soup. If you Google that, you're gonna see me. You're gonna see my doppelganger who's on that, my lookalike, on there. But what's funny in the process of meeting him over a year and trying to find him and all this stuff, there were two main differences for me that I personally noticed, maybe more so than anyone else. But I'm 5'9", he's 6'4", and then also the hairlines were not the same. He had a hairline that was just, basically juvenile. I mean, no recession at all, and yet 4 years older than me. I'm 37. Actually, I was 36 at the time of the filming of the show, and he had just turned 40. So he's 4 years older than me, and then a lot taller than me. But they actually had to, Access Hollywood, that show, they had the makeup crew and the people who cut hair from that, and they freelanced them out to that show. So when I met him, right before they took us out on stage, they said, okay, this guy needs to look like this guy. And the lady cutting the hair was like, but these guys don't really look that much alike. But on the package of soup, the similarity is definitely there. But once you have to stand next to each other, it was obvious that we looked quite different. We looked like we might pass as brothers, and he did say that I looked more like like I would be his brother than his actual two brothers that he actually has. But it was interesting, and for me, I had always thought, what happens if he has a lower hairline and no recession, which was exactly the case. So it's funny because I had to maintain a certain hairstyle, and once the show aired is when I actually shaved off all my hair for those 3 months in April. That's why I did it. Actually, no, I did it the week after the show aired, actually. I shaved it with zero guard buzz cut for 3 months after my show debuted. And if you're wondering why I did that, and by the way, if you're new to the channel and you didn't know any of this, know that from February through April, I was shaving off all my hair with a zero guard buzz cut, and it was just because I had to keep my hairstyle a certain length to look like the guy on the package of soup. And so I was ready to just not have hair for a while, so that's what I did. But it was funny because I had to keep a hairstyle that looked like the guy on there on the package, but his hair, I mean, it was longer and it came down here. And if my hair gets that long, it doesn't have that same effect. I mean, even the way my temples recede, it makes my forehead rounder than his flat forehead was. So I was having to keep my hair trying to have some bangs that whole year as I was trying to find him and meet him for the follow-up episode of this reality show This Time Next Year. And so it's nice being able to have hair however I want to now. But yeah, everything you've heard in this video is it's a true story. I am now on a pair of socks. I guess if you go to Divvy Up, more than socks, I guess maybe you can learn how to do that. But my brother-in-law and my sister got that made for me in conjunction with my television debut, which you now can see proof of on DB in case you happen to miss the episode. The last time I checked, you can actually, purchase the episode for I think 99 cents or maybe $1.99 on YouTube. It's not for free, but you can watch it if you really wanted to. There you go. How cool is that? And if nothing else, you still heard me talk about receding hairlines, but you got to have a little bit of fun understanding Nick Shell, the human being, besides just reducing me to the icon of the guy who talks about hair loss all the time. What do you have to say? Comments belong right here.